So I don't know why there are so, so many students are absent. 45 students are present only. Shall we wait for the others? Let's wait for 2 minutes. I guess others will join as well. 45 is like not even half of the class is present. Okay, we have, like wasted 5 minutes. I'm not going to wait more here. Let's start with this one. As I told you that when we talk about psychosociological barriers, they are also called socio-psychological barriers. The thing is that how a person is feeling, what is the condition of his mind at the time of communicating with others. So somehow an individual's psychological status, that fails to fit in the sociological scenario, and this is why we called it psychosociological or socio-psychological barriers. What happens here that there, as we know that there are two parties which are involved whenever we are communicating, so it can arise from any side. It's not like only from the sender or not from the receiver. It can be from both the sides, and there are certain reasons, there are certain popular reasons because of which these barriers arise. So we are going to look into these reasons. First one is called style. There is a style with everyone whenever we are talking, even if we are unconscious about it, even if we have not realized that we have a style, even then we have our personal style when we communicate with someone. So here what happens, because of this style people are unable to communicate or communicate effectively with others. And how the this word style is taken, it is a combination of several factors, and these factors, important factors for this word or term style is, the important factors are: first one is linguistic accent, second one is the form of expression, third one is types of humor, and fourth one is choice of brevity. So if you look closely, you will find out that all these parts of communication or all these factors, they contribute a lot when you communicate with someone. Let's look into them one by one and you will understand it better. First one is linguistic accent. It's just like we all have our way of speaking. We pick it from how we listen. So when we talk about accent, there's American or British accent. But if you analyze properly, we have our own Indian accent. According to the region which we belong, everywhere, all the sides, people who speak in English, they have their own way of speaking just because of their geographical background. So this happens when we are communicating with someone else and they have a bit different accent than what we are used to listen. We feel a kind of difference there. We are unable to focus there, and this because of this, what happens? We are unable to focus on the message. Rather, we are a bit distracted by the accent of that person. This can be the first reason barriers arise. The second one is the form of expression. There are people who prefer to use very, very difficult language. We all know the name of, the most famous person in this field, like Shashi Tharoor. We generally listen to him and we have to go through the dictionary to understand what he especially mean by that. What happens? The choice of words, the way he expresses his feelings or emotions there, they are very, very unique, they are very peculiar. So when there are people who prefer to explain their feelings or their information in the way of, or in through the idioms, only idioms, phrases are there, foreign expressions are there. So when people use them too often, it becomes very difficult for the other person to understand it properly. So this is also one of the factor which builds our style. Next one is types of humor. When we say types of humor, we know it. There are people who prefer to be humorous even in the situation where other person is not feeling well, or even when people are not, they are in a kind of urgency, they are emergency, they want help from the other people. Rather than focusing on the need of the hour, they prefer to communicate in their own way or in their own style, which is humorous. So in these places, what happens? The humor turns offensive. People do not like jokes, and it happens in other ways as well. When there are people whom we work with, and we do not like their humor. Okay, we feel that most of the time it's offensive, or they are demeaning other people, or they are taunting us, being sarcastic. So this is also one of the reasons we do not communicate with, especially few people. If we can work without them, we will prefer to ignore them. And finally, choice of brevity. Anyone has heard the term brevity? What is the meaning of brevity?
Ma'am, it means conciseness.
Yes, correct, Amisha. Conciseness. When people prefer to use very few words, we come across these kind of people very often, especially when you go to, people who are in administration. They do not speak much. If you ask questions, they are, to the point answers, yes or no, or the given information. I mean, the information you were seeking in very fewest possible words, they reveal those information or that information. So this is called choice of brevity. There are people whom, even if you provoke, even if you try to communicate, they do not speak much. So because of this also, this kind of style of speaking also, there are barriers. Do you know what do we call these people, who are very, who prefer to speak in very few words? Laconic. People who do not use many words, they are called laconic. And laconic means not using too many words. And there is an antonym, not exact antonym, but they are people who are gregarious by nature. So people who are gregarious, they are social. They prefer to mingle with other people and have fun. So they are called gregarious. And people who prefer to keep, in their own company, or their company is small, and they prefer to speak in fewest possible words, they are called laconic. Okay, this was the style. Because of these factors, people build their own style. And if you just think about it, a person who has all the four style of speaking or communicating, what kind of combination that will be, what kind of personality that will be. A person who is speaking in a very peculiar accent, full of idioms, and his humor is offensive, and you know, when you prefer to talk to him, he uses very fewest possible words. So how will you communicate with someone who has all these factors? So this is a kind of, you know, warning as well. When you people communicate, please try to analyze yourself whether any of it is being, you know, put forward by you as well, if any of this is present in your communication. Because being sarcastic is these days, you know, when people are sarcastic, they prefer to say, okay, I'm very intelligent. But this is not the case. People start, you know, ignoring you. They don't want to be, they don't want to listen to rude comments there. So whenever you are with your friends and all that, it's fine, but when you are in professional world, you should try to avoid these things. Next one is selective perception. What is selective perception? Anyone? Perception means? Okay, we have discussed it in the definition of communication. Perception. What is perception? What is the definition of communication? That when you send or when you transfer information from sender to receiver, it should be taken in the same perspective. So what is the perspective here? What is the meaning of perspective? The way of understanding. You people are listening, or are you sleeping there? This
Yes,
is a
ma'am.
Listening, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Selective
Ma'am.
perception means actually when others say we will like to listen only the messages that we like, and we ignore that viewpoints that actually we don't like or we don't want to listen in a way that.
right, Narayan, that is correct. That is correct. So perception is our way of understanding, and when we say selective perception, it means according to our choice, according to our way of understanding things. When we prefer to focus on only one part of the message and ignore the remaining part, then it becomes selective perception. This is a kind of, you know, practice which is generally done between your generation as well, especially people who are in student life. When, you know, it's just like if I start giving right now instruction that you have an assignment to do, most of you will not listen. But if I tell you that you know, on Monday there will be a holiday, you people will be all ears, ready to listen. Okay, so this is what we mean by selective perception. Naman, are you here? Naman?
Yes, ma'am.
Naman, Mrityunjay is messaging me that he is unable to attend this class. He is in the Teams. He is right now messaging me. I can see it. I think even you people can see the chat. What is the problem here? I am unable to understand.
Maybe it's not showing the class in his calendar.
Why it is not showing in his calendar? Because he is in Teams. So if I send a notification, it is sent to everyone. What happens when, you know, in other cases, how do you people help these kind of cases? How do you, what happens here? Who is the person?
Usually there are no such cases.
Hmm? Sorry, I could not listen that, Naman.
Usually it doesn't happen like this.
Okay.
I will talk to him once and then I
No,
will let
it's
you know.
not. I think there should be someone whom you can contact. I mean, someone from computer center, or don't you people have access to this kind of, you know, any of services of this kind, like people from technical part? He is facing a problem. Even last time he was trying to connect. All I can do, I can add you people in the Teams. That is all I can do. I don't have any other privilege here. So he needs to talk to someone who is from technical side. Only that person will be able to. Okay, I'm sending him a link separately. Let's see if he could join that way.
Actually, he is of D1 group, so I don't have much contact with him.
No problem, no problem. I just wanted to know what can be done in this case. That is why I'm asking you. I know this is not your even not even your responsibility. Okay, I have sent him a link. Let's see whether he is able to join with that or not. Okay, let's continue. So we were talking about selective perception. What we were discussing that generally when we listen to only one part of a message, then it is called selective perception. When we try to understand and we are unable to understand the complete message, even then it will be called selective perception. It's just like that, if you go to watch a movie with your friends, and you when you come out you have a different level of understanding it, and when you go with your parents to the same movie, when they come out they have you find that there is difference in understanding the same concept. You people prefer to decipher it or understand it from your own point of view, while your parents will try to understand it from their point of view. And it's not true that only parents or there's generation gap. Because of that generation gap this is happening. It happens otherwise as well. With two people like you and your friend, you people can have very different point of view. So according to it can be like gender difference can be there, or even if it's not generation or gender difference, it can be individual style, how you prefer to perceive things. So this is one of the reasons that people are unable to understand the messages properly, and they feel that there is a barrier which is hindering the process of understanding that message, and this is why we call it selective perception. Okay, we have very different ways of understanding things, and according to our perception we prefer to decode the messages. Next one is status relationship. We have discussed it in detail, so I will not go into the detail, but this is, when you are subordinate and you are scared of your head or your superiors, then it is arising from. This student is facing some problem from his side. Madam, PDF cannot support on screen on in my mobile. Last time after the class, I contacted him, but he did not take my call. And during the class, he is all active that he is unable to join the class. In remaining time, he never cares whether he should contact me and take care of this thing. The teacher is calling you and you do not pick the call and you do not take care, or you do not think about calling the person back. This is what happening, and when the class is on, he is again and again pinging me. Okay, so we were talking about status relationship. So when you are, when you are when you are subordinate, you are scared of the position of your boss, and you are unable to, you are unable to share your emotions and feelings. Because of this, you think that boss can be biased, boss can be, the superior can get, he can be upset with you. You will not be in his good books anymore if you complain, if you share your problem with them, so, or him. So this will also be called status relationship. In the same manner, sometimes just those superiors who are in need of advice, they need advice, they need help, and they need to discuss, or they need to know your opinion. But just because of this biasness, that if they ask you to help them, their authority will be lost, okay, or you are going to judge them that they are incompetent in holding their position. So because of this, they do not communicate very frequently with their subordinates. So when status relationships are involved, and because of this, when people do not communicate with each other on daily basis in healthy environment, that is, there we can call that is these status of the relationship. Because of this status of the relationship, this barrier is arising. Next one is poor attention and retention. We know that when there is overload of information, when people are inside the organization on daily basis, there are several messages which are moving from upward to downward and in all the direction. We have seen those direction in which messages generally float. So these messages, when they are too many and the direction is varied, in different directions they are going, what happens, certain time people are unable to retain these messages. Their attention is poor, and their retention is equally poor. Because of this, what happens, most of the messages are missed, or even if they are, sent upward or downward, some of the part is taken, or some of the part is left behind. If you look at the seventh point, which is filtering happens in these stages as well. When there are too many information, certain times, because of this overload of information, important messages are missed. And certain times filtering happens in this manner, that you have to follow that chain of command. You have to go through proper channel. When you go through proper channel, you follow all the hierarchical ranks involved, or all the hierarchy which is involved in the process. People, according to their perception and according to their comprehension level, they filter out the data. If they feel that certain information can go against them, these kind of activities are involved, people remove that part which can go against them, and remaining part is sent above. So this is called filtering. Because of this, most of the messages are incomplete when they reach their final destination. So this is called poor attention and retention and filtering. What is next? The next one is closed mind. Have you heard this term, closed mind? Who is called closed minded person?
Ma'am,
Who
it can
does
mean
not
that
who doesn't open their mind for new ideas, or they don't try to understand new things, new viewpoints.
Very good, Arjuna. That is right. There are people who are very experienced in their field, who are, very senior in their position. So what they generally believe, that whatever was needed to understand, whatever knowledge was supposed to be gained in that particular field, they already possess that, and they are not open to new ideas. When these kind of people work with other people, they create a lot of barriers there. Because of their closed mindedness, they are not open to new ideas. When they come across people who are new, who are young or innovative, when they suggest something, these people, because of their own closed mindedness, they do not encourage these people, and certain times they even discourage them by showing their own attitude there. Okay, this attitude of closed mindedness, where they believe that everything which should be known to them they have it already, so they do not need to expand their knowledge base. So they do not listen to others, they do not encourage others, they do not support others. So they are generally called close-minded people. Next is state of health. This is very, very common. A person who is not in his sound health, he will not be able to focus on anything, he or she. So what happens, one person is healthy, one person is ready to communicate, but just because the other party is not in their sound health, or there can be other things as well. This is not about health only. Certain time it happens that a person who was going to address a congregation, or he was going to give a speech there, we have seen it very often, that those in those organizations, in those companies, their heads, they come and they address the employees there. Suppose a head is there and he is about to give a speech to the delegate, persons of the organization, the employees of the organization, and the topic of the speech was honesty, how to observe integrity, how to perform or practice honesty. And all of a sudden he receives a letter where he has been he has been accused of cheating. So now everyone there knows that he has been he has been found guilty of cheating, or he is being targeted as a cheater there. And at the same time, that person himself knows that he has been blamed for something. Now, do you think the kind of communication which is going to take place will happen in the normal situation, as it would have happened in the normal situation? No. Now both the parties are influenced. Both the parties are influenced. The person who has been blamed, he has lost his confidence, and people who were listening, they have also lost the confidence in that person. So because of this environment, this status of mind, because of this status of mind of both the parties, people will not be able to focus. They will not take the messages in the same perspective as they would have taken in other scenario. So because of these status of our mind, status of our health, communication gets influenced a lot. Okay, so these were the seven factors or the 7 barriers which arise because of our psychosociological problems, the problems which are faced by individuals or both the parties involved in the communication process. Are these clear? These 7 of these individual barriers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's move to the next one. This is called our cross-cultural or geographical barrier. We know that these days, because of this MNC culture, multinational companies, people are moving in every direction. People go offshore and overseas, and they work with other people of other countries. So there are certain factors, there are certain reasons because of which these barriers arise. Cross-cultural, people are unable to they know the language, language is same, even then they face a lot of problem there. Why does this happen? Let's look into these barriers. First one is called national characteristics. So if we start with the gestures only, the simple gestures, what do we mean by gestures? How do we address each other? How do we wish each other? So generally in India, we fold our hands. While we go to abroad, especially America or American countries or British countries, so there people generally shake their hands. If you go to Asian countries, especially like Japan or China, there people try to most of the time they bow down. when they bow their heads when they wish each other. So these are national characteristics. Because of these, a lot of problem is faced. Although people try to learn it beforehand, whenever they are going to other places, they try to learn about that place. Even then, on daily basis, these things create a lot of problem. If we talk about proximity, if you go to abroad, especially Western countries, you know that they do not have this kind of discrimination there, especially gender discrimination. People generally move with each other very freely. But when you come to Asian countries, especially if you come to India, we know the kind of proximity. You cannot sit next to too close to a woman, or when women are, especially in workplace as well, there are certain protocols you have to follow. You have to understand in which side of country you are, and what kind of practices are involved, and according to that you have to adapt those practices. So these all of these are called national characteristics. If we talk about negative things here, like values and norms, we talk about values and norms. So India is especially notorious of being not punctual. If in India you have a meeting at 9 o'clock, generally people turn up at 9:30. The organizers turn up at 9:30. They are never punctual. This is what I am telling you about generally what happens. It is not true, or there are several, especially when we talk about MNCs and offices where high profile people are involved, people are punctual. But generally, this is how things happen. People believe it. So, values, when we talk about values and norms, if I talk about norm, let's take an example of cab drivers. So it is generally said that if you are in New York, okay, and if you are in Australia, these are the two places. In Australia, if you try to sit on the front seat with the driver, he is very happy. He'll take you as a friend. He'll greet you as a friend there. They understand that you are a tourist. So they prefer if you try to sit with them. But if you are in New York and if you try to sit in the front seat, they generally believe that you are a thief, you are trying to rob them. So this is a kind of norm there. People in different countries have their different norms and values, and because of ignorance of the other person, or innocence of the other person, that they do not know the norms there, these kind of barriers arise. And now we finally come to the main part, which is language. When we talk about language, there is a very simple example. When you go to Japan and they tell you, they greet you. I don't know the Japanese term for that, but it is generally believed, they say this is the beginning. When you come to our country, when we fold our hands, we say namaskar or namaste. It means welcome. Okay, and when you go to British countries or English countries, they generally say how do you do. So they are asking about your well-being. But in Japan, they say this is just the beginning. It means our friendship has just started. So the same kind of greetings, they can differ in their meanings. Everywhere the meaning is different. This becomes a big problem when your business is involved. It is said that when managers, they send employees to other countries, they always prefer that those who are going to those countries, they should understand their local language. We know that IELTS and TOEFLs are there, especially when you want to study there. But when you go for working, these kind of barriers are not there. They generally check your English only. But if you are going to Germany, or if you are going to Spain, there are people, those people who are localites, they do not speak English. They do not always speak in English. And because of that, what happens? Business suffers. When you go to other country and you have a client who doesn't understand English, what will happen? You can have your co-workers, your co-workers will speak in English, but people who are from local areas, they generally don't speak English. So in these cases, it is observed that managers, they tell the employees to learn a local language so that they can have a better understanding of what they are communicating with their their clients. So this is how, you know, language can be a barrier as well. Even if they know one language, they know the international language, even then they will have to learn the local language as well. And these are the three basic reasons why cross-cultural barriers arise: national characteristics, language, values, and norms. Are these clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay, so finally we are on the last slide. This one is physical barrier, and these are because of the distance between two people. Because of this distance, certain barriers arise. So what are the reasons? Let's look into them. First one is noise. We know any unpleasant sound which creeps into the communication process, then there is noise. It can be from the sender, it can be from the receiver, and it can be in the channel itself. So we face it on everyday basis. You know, when we communicate, right now we are communicating, if there is network issue from my side, no one out of you are going to will be able to listen to me. So that is one of the reasons noise occur. It's just like in my background, a kind of voice starts, you know. So what will happen again? You will be distracted, you will not be able to focus. So whenever there is this disturbance because of the channel or because of the encoding and decoding part, then it will be called a noise. Now we come to next one, which is environment. So external trans receivers. What do we mean by trans receivers? What is trans receiver? What is a trans receiver? Anyone? Okay, trans means across. So when you have to talk to a person, but there are certain people in the middle, it's just like, if I give you the example here, when you try to talk to those call center people, okay, if you have to make a complaint, if you have to make a kind of inquiry, so what happens, they put you through these trans receivers that please press 1 2 3, or all our executives are busy right now, so you have to wait. And after that, what happens, they disconnect it saying that no one is free right now. So what happens there? Because of these external trans receivers, there is presence of other people in the channel. Because of that, you could not connect to them directly. It happens very few times, very few times that you call and they receive. Generally, you are put through these trans receivers, and only after that you get to those people. So this is whenever there is presence of trans receivers, this happens. Second one is number of links in the chain. Suppose you want to make a complaint, it happens in, especially in, you know, banks and all. Although when you talk about banks, you will have to go there. So certain people, they tell you, okay, this is not the place where you will get it done, move to that person, go to that person, from there go to that department. So this is a kind of link. When you are, there are too many links in the chain, you get discouraged. Your message, you know, the message you wanted to give, that suffers a lot, and you finally, generally people give up. In the same manner, you know, you want to make a call to the MD, so there you cannot go to or you cannot connect to the MD directly. You will have to go through certain people there. They will transfer your call to that person. So when there's a number of links, you know, when there are too many links there in a chain, then also our messages, they get disappear, or they do not reach in the same format. Finally, circumstantial factors. So as I was telling you, that right now if my fan starts making a noise, it will be difficult for you to listen to it. Right now we are listening to each other, but if nothing is happening from my side, but there is noise in your background, you will not be able to focus here. So that is also called circumstantial factors. So certain time when we are in communication process, when we are in a communication scenario, because of these circumstantial factors, we are unable to focus and we fail to understand the message. Finally, defects in the medium. If your apparatus is not working properly, it's just like you have a fax machine, but when you receive the fax, the ink is not visible, the words are not visible. Just because there was defect in my machine, whatever I typed, that is not legible. The message is full of misprints. So why will this happen? Because of the defects in the medium. The apparatus was not working properly. Because of that, you will face a lot of problem there in understanding that message. This one was very easy. I guess most of you understand it. Okay, so I have 4 pictures, 4 to 5 pictures, and I want all of you to tell me which barrier do you think is present in this particular picture. Please raise your hand, don't unmute and speak without turn. Raise your hand, and when I ask, you will tell me. Okay, look at this picture and tell me which barrier do you think is present there. In which category will you keep this one? Okay, only Aditi could find it.
Different gestures.
Different gestures. Okay, in which category will you keep this one?
Like body languages. Different persons have different body language, so they are not able to understand their body language.
But we have 6 kinds of barrier. In which category you will keep? That's what I'm asking. Okay, Kaptan Singh.
Cultural barrier.
Cultural barrier. Why?
Their way of agreed with one and each other is different.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Harshita?
Language barrier, ma'am?
No, this is not language barrier. Why do you think it's language barrier?
Ma'am, because the first person is asking what to do and the second person is giving his card.
So this is because of their cultural difference. One is offering the card, so other one should accept it. It means they have greeted each other. So they do not know, they do not understand each other's culture. Because of that, this is happening.
Okay, ma'am.
Clear? Look at this. You know, the first person is offering a handshake. The other person is the first person is doing it according to his culture. The other person is giving him a visiting card. So there is difference in greetings. Okay, they do not know how they should interact or how they should greet when they meet someone first time. It was their responsibility to check it in advance that the person from where he is coming, and according to that he could have educated himself for such a small activity. In the second one, we can see that the woman is offering a kind of kiss there, and the other person believes that this is invasion of his personal space. He is not ready to be in so close proximity there. The last person, we can see that he is an Indian. He has no idea what to do next. He is folding his hands. That's all he could do. So this is because of the different cultures they are from, and they have no idea of others' culture. This is why this cross-culture barrier is arising here. Yes, Kaptan, do you have anything to add here, or you have forgotten that your hand is raised?
I follow.
Okay, okay. So is this clear, Harshita?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So this is the next one. In which category we'll keep it? Yes, Goja.
Ma'am, it can come under semantic barrier.
Yes. Why?
But sorry.
Okay, give the reason. That is
Yeah.
correct.
Because here we can see that. Yes, we can see that here they have understood the word Rajdhani in two different manner.
Yes, very good. We can see
Can
clearly.
come under first one. It can come under the name of a train, and second one it is the state capital.
Very good, very good. So we can see that this is a kind of homophone here for them, although it's not homophone. It is the, in different perspective. The same word has been decoded in different perspective. They have not taken any queries there. They have not communicated in the proper manner. Had they asked a question, what do you mean by Rajdhani? The other person could have asked, what do you mean by when will Rajdhani move? It's a state capital. Then the other person could have told him, no, I'm talking about the train. So there would have been no barrier in that way case. But they did not do that. Instead, they prefer to decode it according to their perspective, and because of that, this barrier was there. Okay, look at this one. Yes, Alia.
It is a semantic barrier as the people are unable to understand what is being implied as the language is too technical.
Okay, technical language is being used. Here two kind of barriers are present. Anyone else can tell me what is the another one? One is that technical language is there. Other one? The other one is unqualified assumption. This here four people are taking a training there how to climb a hill or something, and the other person, he is using technical language. He is saying carbiner and sling and a quick draw. So he has assumed it without any reason that these people know the terms. So he is using technical terms, believing that they have knowledge of these. So technical use of technical terms and unqualified assumption both are present.
Ma'am. Ma'am, I have a question. Can we also say that the kids who are not they're not even asking the professor? So can we say that it is also some sort of an individual barrier that they are not asking the professor to re-explain?
Yes, that can be present. When we talk about barriers, they are interconnected to each other. They never happen from one side. We can always give feedback and take feedback. When we give and take feedback, barriers generally are removed. But when we talk about barriers, we talk about why they are arising there. So this is on the part of the trainer. That trainer who is teaching them or training them how to climb a hill, he is assuming that they already know the terms. So whether he should have given a lecture or training where he would have decoded those words to them, then he could assume that they will understand. Or otherwise, he should not have used the technical terms. He should have used simple or it in layman's language there. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, this one. Yes. Who is going to tell this one? No one. Okay, what is happening here? Oh, yes, Arjuna.
Ma'am, is it ma'am, individual or socio-psychological barrier, ma'am?
Yes,
Between
that
them?
is correct. That is correct. What is happening here? These are counselor and patient. So counselor generally are supposed to sit next to the patient and listen to them properly and offer advice. Okay, here what he has done, he has secluded himself and he has isolated himself inside a cabin, and then he is saying feeling any sense of social isolation during the pandemic. So what is happening here? He is projecting the barrier, or he is projecting it on the patient while he is the creator of the barrier here. So projection is being done here. What is projection? Projection is when you project your own biasness on the other party, and you believe that because of them a problem is being, problem is being created there. It's just like you are not confident about how you gave a speech, and then you ask your friend, you think the speech was bad, and he gives an answer in affirmative. He says yes, it was. So now he did not come to you, he did not commented that the speech was bad, but just because you were not confident and you asked, he supported you there. But now you believe that he criticized you, he found out that the speech was not good. This is what projection is. You try to project your own shortcomings and your own state of mind on the other person, then it is called projection. Okay. Is this clear, the last one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we come to the gateways. There are around 13. We don't have enough time for this now. I don't want to rush through this one. These are important. So we'll discuss them in the next lecture, and we'll start with the case study as well in the next lecture. If you people have any query, you can ask.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, in the previous one, the question that you asked, could we also say that it is a physical barrier since there's a partition?
Yes, if you go by the literal meaning, you can see that he has isolated himself. But let's look into the dialogue as well. He has isolated himself, and he is saying that do you feel isolated? When the person who is getting paid to listen to the other person, and he is separating, or he is isolating himself, then obviously the other person will feel isolated. And this is why we call it interpersonal barrier. Look at that person. He has not only built a wall of glass there, a cabin there, he is wearing a shield and a mask. So somehow he is projecting it himself. He is doing the same thing and then asking the other person, is he feeling the same or not? Physical
yes, ma'am,
barrier.
but
Yeah.
physical barrier as in defects in the medium since the person won't be able to hear properly.
The person is hearing him properly. This is why there is no physical barrier. His hairs are, you can see his hairs are raised. It means he is surprised that the other person is doing it, the same thing, and then asking about it. So he is doing it. So why he is asking about it? If he could not hear, there should be one more dialogue, I could not hear you. Then only we could say that it was physical barrier. Because of this distance, they were unable to listen to each other. He could listen to him properly.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am, so finally, in which barrier should we put this?
Intrapersonal barrier. Individual. Because of his own biasness, he is doing this.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll end the class here. We'll continue in the next lecture. Thank you.